From news and views, issues and opportunities, we'll have in-depth conversations with decision makers to find out what they know and what they think. I'm Rico Hizon, inviting you to join the exchange because your business is our business.
Dapat unahin po kayo.
Kung ako po panalo sa Senado, ang pagtutuunan ko ay ang mga daycare center.
Money, the lifeblood of politicians during an election season. As tens of millions of our kababayans firm up their choices for the country's next set of leaders, expect politicians to reach out to voters in more ways than one. And these come at a hefty price. How do political campaigns impact the advertising landscape? We'll count the windfall and trace the money trail. The new battleground of political campaigns, social media. A look at how digital marketers are preparing for the big online battle. And what is it like running PR? Understanding the business of persuasion in our C-Suite Vision. Advertising spending spikes during the election season. Without restrictions on campaigning even before the official dates, politicians reach out to as many voters on all fronts as early as possible. But just how much is their campaign kitty? Let's now have an exchange with Jay Bautista, Managing Director of Kantar Philippines Media Division. Thank you so much for joining us. By your estimates, how much money will be spent on campaign advertising in this 2022 elections?
Well, if the total annual advertising value usually is about 500 billion pesos, we normally estimate the share at around 3% of the total value. That's based on published rate cards. So it's a sizable amount of investment.
Still in the billions of pesos and a sizable amount, Jay. So, do you think this will be the most expensive election so far in terms of ad spending or the most cost-effective because we are in a pandemic?
I think it's going to be cost-benefit wise. It's going to be an efficient way to reach more voters, to create awareness about the candidates' platforms because face-to-face campaigning and the old normal of reaching out is no longer feasible. So advertising will be a very important and efficient tool for reaching voters.
And of course, like what you mentioned, restrictions on mass or physical gatherings. And now, many Filipinos have their smartphones. Jay, do you see a shift from using traditional media such as TV, radio, newspapers to digital media such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and others?
I think instead of a shift, we'll see an increasing share of digital as a go-to platform for the candidates. TV and radio will still be part of their in terms of reach and coverage of the general population, particularly rural areas. But as you said, digital is an important part now because there are more SIM cards in the Philippines than our population. 9 out of 10 Filipinos are on social media, and 7 out of 10 Filipinos are online on a regular basis. So definitely digital should be part of the advertising strategy of any candidate.
Jay, you mentioned radio. Yes, a lot of Filipinos have radio sets in their homes, particularly in the rural areas. Where does it leave newspapers and television? Would ad spending decrease here?
Because of the change in the number of players on television, we will probably see lesser amounts being spent on traditional TV and also traditional printed newspapers. But the money that that's decreasing there will definitely shift to their online counterparts. So a lot of TV content is now available online, particularly on YouTube and Facebook. So we'll see less money on traditional analog platforms, but it will still go to their digital counterparts. So the newspapers have their own online platforms, TV networks have their online platforms. So it's really more of a shift in platform rather than a shift in medium.
But where is it more expensive to put your ad money? Digital, television, or print?
Well, definitely, it's the most expensive real estate in terms of advertising is still television, and that will be followed by print and radio. The most cost-efficient currently is digital. For the same amount of money that you spend on TV, for let's say a week, you can spend the same amount for at least a month on digital.
But when all is said and done, Jay, will this be a profitable season for the various media outlets who have multi-platforms?
Yes, definitely. It's the ones who have economies of scale and the ones who have the most reach at the least cost will definitely have an advantage.
Thank you so much for this election spending exchange. Jay Bautista, Managing Director of Kantar Philippines Media Division. And now here's a rundown of this week's top business stories. Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Governor Ben Jokno says the country still has enough fiscal and monetary space to support economic recovery, but hints the central bank may soon step in to raise the cost of borrowing. More Filipinos were unemployed in August because of the reimposition of strict quarantine restrictions in Metro Manila. The Philippine Statistics Authority estimates about 3.88 million of our kababayans were jobless during the month. And the country placed 58th out of 64 economies in IMD Business School's World Digital Competitiveness Ranking 2021, a notch lower from last year. The Philippines performed poorly in all three pillars used in the ranking system, which are future readiness, technology, and knowledge. And straight ahead on the exchange, where your business is our business. The World Bank trims its growth forecast for the Philippines. Find out what the country needs to do to bounce back. And this robot will act as your watchdog that you don't have to feed or take out for a walk. Keep it right here on CNN Philippines. News you can use, news you can trust. Glad you're staying with us right here on The Exchange, where your business is our business. I'm Rico Hizon. The World Bank downgrades its growth forecast for the country this year and next, citing the slow vaccination rate as a major challenge to economic recovery. The multilateral lender now sees the economy expanding by 4.3% this year, which is a significant drop from its earlier estimate of 5.5%. Its growth outlook for the next 2 years is not optimistic as well, noting that around 8 million Filipinos would remain poor in 2023.
Had a problem of vaccine hesitancy. It had not acquired enough vaccines. It was a late entrant into the vaccine market. But the good news is, as I said, we project that even Philippines by the middle of next year will have higher levels of coverage.
The World Bank also flags high inflation rates, which also translates into higher consumer prices in the country. At a time when mass gatherings are not allowed, political campaigns shift online. How are marketers preparing for battle in the digital space? Let's now have an exchange with Miko David from the Internet and Mobile Marketing Association of the Philippines. Miko, great to have you with us. How will social media shape this upcoming political campaign?
Well, I think there's a few dimensions to look at, Rico, no? So first of all, it's been a major news source for many Filipinos. And at the same time, you also find a lot of opportunities for political candidates to amplify their their messages or being visible through channels like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or even TikTok, I would say. So it's been a reach driver for a lot, especially since they cannot be very visible physically during this pandemic.
Well, you have the likes of Facebook, which you mentioned started almost 20 years ago, then followed by Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and so much more followed. When did you see social media actually becoming a game-changing tool for marketing and advertising for politicians?
Wow. Well, I think we started seeing that back in 2016, no? But not from an amplification standpoint, but from really spreading different news, no? And we've seen this as well in 2019, where it was a channel that was utilized to amplify. But I think if you start looking at the past 8 months, no, as early as January or December last year, some politicians have already started amplifying early their messages so that they could be very visible to Filipinos. So again, the filing of candidacy is coming up pretty soon, and we are seeing a lot of politicians already positioning their platforms and their campaigns.
And of course, the talk in 2016 was that there was a lot of advertising on the digital platform. What about the ethics of online advertising, Miko? What do you think of troll marketing?
Okay, let's break it down to two parts, no? I think when you take a look at the ethics of advertising, first of all, Facebook, Google, and the other platforms have their own community standards and guidelines that they adhere to, no? So you're not supposed to be able to spread false information, or
Right.
you should be against, let's say, bullying, making people feel bad about themselves, and all these things, no? So those are currently in place. Now, on the flip side, when you talk about ethics, there's also the part of sharing correct information. We've seen a lot of troll pages or like alternative news sites which have been created over the past couple of months, I would say even years have been in existence, that are interspersing current events with, I would say, fabricated or not very good news about certain candidates. No, so when you look at these things and you tie it now to troll operators, farms, and activities, it'll really shape the perspectives of Filipinos as
That's
they
correct.
decide who their respective politicians should be in the coming upcoming elections.
So Miko, have you dealt with clients in the past who actually want to make use of trolls in their marketing campaigns?
I've encountered different projects in the past. I mean, not directly, no, but I've encountered and heard about the situation, and they have encountered it because I think their opponents are also utilizing it, no. So, but I think when they were exploring it, they were looking at different ways to balance out, I suppose, the negative effects of what trolls are doing. So it's something that I've seen happen already. And it's still continuing, still part of today's discussion, I would understand.
How much do you think these trollers will be used by politicians in this campaign?
I think it's going to be a blend. I wouldn't say that it's going to be lopsided to that direction, no. But if you take a look at the options of a digital marketer or the campaign teams, no, then you have, let's say, the platforms to amplify. Then you have different digital tools, no, to be able to measure analytics. And I think that these trolls would be another measure to be able to manage the engagement that happens online, no. So hard to say. I think if we take a look at the marketing mix of every single candidate, it'll be quite different, no, depending on their popularity or visibility online.
There won't be any face-to-face campaigning, no mass gatherings, maybe no meeting de avance that will even take place in May 2022 before Election Day. Will digital payment platforms, you think, play a big role during these pandemic elections?
Well, I'm not entirely sure how that will play, but I do acknowledge that they have been quite growing quite tremendously, especially since when we started lockdowns. No, it all shot up starting in July. If I look at their traffic or their app download consumption, no, it's been up. Now, will they be a part of the elections? It depends on how parties would or politicians would utilize this. No, so hard to say. whether it'll play a large role. But we do acknowledge that they have sizable volumes as well, no? But not ano pa rin. Let's just say that one platform has 3 million users, no? But if you still look at Facebook, which has about 3.5 billion visits over the last 12 months in the Philippines alone. So I think that's some context to look into.
That's a sizable number. Thank you so much for joining us in this social media exchange. Miko David from the Internet and Mobile Marketing Association of the Philippines. And now the latest buzz in tech and the digital space. Meet Astro, Amazon's autonomous robot that zooms around through its artificial intelligence and mapping technology. It's like having a watchdog at home that you don't have to feed or take for a walk. Astro has cameras that make sure you turn the stove off or check in on your loved ones or pets. And like most real-life dogs, Astro can respond to voice commands. Instagram has paused efforts to develop a version of its photo sharing app for children under 13 years old. The company has been facing scrutiny after it was revealed the social media platform knew its app could negatively impact teenage girls. Instagram says it will take this time to discuss concerns with parents, experts, policymakers, and regulators. In July, it announced the creation of a new Instagram experience for tweens where accounts would be managed by parents and guardians. And move over Ant-Man. Scientists have created the microflyer, the smallest ever human-made structure that can fly. Engineers at Northwestern University designed this microchip to carry miniature tech-like sensors, memory data, and antennas for wireless communications. They believe their device could be used one day to monitor air pollution, airborne disease, and environmental contamination. And still ahead on the exchange, where your business is our business. What is it like running public relations? We'll understand the business of persuasion with Alan Herman of Agents International. And what were you doing when you were 23 years old? This entrepreneur has already built his own company and raised millions of pesos in capital. Stay tuned to CNN Philippines. News you can use. News you can trust. Glad you're staying with us right here on The Exchange, where your business is our business. I'm Rico Hizon. An organization of hotel sales and marketing leaders launched its biggest online travel sale to give domestic travel a boost. It is encouraging tourists to pack their bags and visit local destinations. The association says around 80 participating hotels and resorts are offering up to 70% discounts until October 15th. The online sale has already sold 1,600 vouchers and earned 1.9 million pesos. The group assures travelers, employees of participating enterprises are fully vaccinated and complying with health protocols. During election season, a marriage of convenience happens. No, we're not talking about politicians crossing fences or forming alliances. We mean public relations and political marketing. And who else to ask about the business of persuasion than Alan Herman, President and CEO of Agents International. Alan, glad you could join us. It is election season. Your dad is a well-known campaign strategist, and now he has passed on the baton to you. In your view, how different will this election be from the previous ones?
Oh, wow. The number one determinant, the biggest difference, obviously, is the pandemic. The face-to-face or mask-to-mask, as it were, campaigning will change a lot of muscle-flexing initiatives. What do I mean by muscle-flexing initiatives? These are rallies, meeting the avances, concerts, etc., all now made limited or even improbable under the current situation we're in. So naturally, the shift will go to social media and even digital mobile media to engage your voters. Because if you can't see them face to face, at least you can see them virtually, as we're doing now.
That's right. And during this election season, do you select your clients or do you accommodate anybody who seeks your services?
Well, to the CNN viewers, Mr. Rico Hizon is not my audience plant. See, now he's giving me the perfect door to walk into. Usually they come to us. I'm at a good position wherein it's the clients that usually seek us out. I often say, and this sounds a little, I will joust with humility now and completely kill it. We don't advertise. Our company doesn't even have a website. We don't join trade shows. So if somebody contacts us, that's usually because somebody who knows somebody who was very satisfied with the way we handled their campaign gave a strong referral. And you know what they say, the best referral is a satisfied and happy client.
Absolutely. And it is also the reputation of the Hermans that brings clients to your doors, Alan. What if the clients, Alan, do not have the best image or reputation, facing several issues or controversies, but they have the money? Will you accept or turn them down?
Thankfully, we still have a moral compass that guides us. I know that sounds like it sounds like a very heady, romanticized thing to say, but there is still a moral compass that guides us. We are able to, because that's not just a matter of morality. Maybe I'm overselling that. It's also sometimes a matter of good business practice, because if a reputation is beyond management or repair, then like a doctor or a lawyer, we have to be straight with our clients and say, dehado tayo dito, boss. Maybe now's not the right time. We have to make a little bit more time pass, because Filipinos, they have a very short memory, notoriously short memories.
That's true. As they say, with a short memory, forgive and forget. But of course, social media can change all of that, especially with trolls. For example, you won't accept this personality, but for example, this person is known to be corrupt, but charismatic. What is the best way to package this kind of candidate?
Okay, well, we have a 3E rule now. We look at what you're excellent at or exemplary at. So, for example, if it's corruption, if at all, if the position is defensible, then we will offer that defense. But if not, we will avert. We will avert to other projects, good works, or past instances where the candidate was able to give a good accounting or public service to his constituents. So it's really a matter of, and I hate to sound very mercenary about it, but if it's a microphone, it's a matter of just having a bigger microphone, a louder microphone, and a microphone that is present in more homes and communities.
But what if this candidate has everything, all the characteristics to become president or vice president or senator, but does not have the charisma? How do you handle that individual's campaign to boost his or her survey or numbers?
Great question. Again, the Filipinos will only vote for 3 candidates. What we call the gut candidate, the person who has really magnetic charm, charisma, star appeal, that's what we call it. A heart candidate, which is this candidate feels what I feel, grew up in the same conditions I did, therefore understands me. And a head candidate, which is, this guy might not be the most charismatic, might not have the most star power, didn't really grow up in poverty. And I'm sure you're already thinking of a candidate that fits that bill, but has the head qualities, meaning to say has a plan, knows what to do, is a good executor. So we will then market that. He or she is a problem solver. So that is what we will enhance. And then how do we equalize the fact that they don't have any star quality? We can get celebrity endorsers. We can get influencers to add that star quality for him or her. And then whatever he or she is exemplary at, we will just make sure to communicate this in a way that is relatable and concise, so that it becomes memorable for more voters.
How do you basically manage and handle all your politician clients all at the same time, with all of them having different images and reputations?
That's a great question, and one that I get all the time. Thankfully, we're able to move in silos. We assign ESTs, or election strike teams, to each of our clients, depending also on what they need, because some clients just need brand essence studies. Some clients just need surveys. Some clients just need help on social media. But really to contextualize your question, we assign different teams. I will oversee most of them. I'd say 85 to 90% of the clients I will personally oversee and just make sure that everything is aligned to numbers. Because alam mo naman yung kasabihan, Rico, lahat magaling. If there's 20 people, everybody knows what they're doing. But at the end of the day, you gotta listen to the numbers. The numbers will hear you out. So we're very quantitative based.
Thank you so much for this campaign strategy exchange, Alan Herman of Agents International. And before we go, here is some business advice from a 23-year-old Filipino CEO who built his own company from ground up. King Alandi D leads Expedoc, which helps logistical companies save millions of dollars and automate using artificial intelligence.
I think it's really all about finding a problem that you're completely committed to, right? And also bringing on the smartest people that you can find to solve that problem. That single problem that you're willing to commit the next 10, 20 years of your life.
And this is The Exchange, who makes sense of the facts and the figures and the ups and downs of the business cycle, because your business is our business. I'm Rico Hizon. Thanks for watching CNN Philippines. News you can use, news you can trust.